What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, RC Propaganda here. Today I just want to give you my final thoughts and overview on the Big Rock 6S. So I've had the truck for a little while now, got plenty of bashing in with it, and I just kind of wanted to go over it and just give my final assessment and let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess, which there's not too much ugly. Truck looks great. I went with the gray, as you can see here. Once you get it dirty and scratched up, I will admit the gray doesn't seem to want to hold up and look as good as I think it was kind of going to look. It looks good in photos and stuff, and again, that's why I got this truck. I didn't get it to be like the bashing, you know, like supreme vehicle, but yeah, it's held up. It's taken some abuse. You can see inside here, it's got all this caging going on. The best part is this big old slippity slide right here. Slides in there, and just two body pins in the back. It takes a little bit of getting used to in the exact position to get it on, but once you get used to it, it goes right on. Those pins go in. Not towing any fifth wheel trailers. Don't know why that's there, but hey, I got one, right? You can see here I did drill a hole and put a onboard mount for my GoPro. Don't have a lot of footage of that yet. I have tested it, but it was really cold that day, and I just broke the plastic housing for the GoPro. I didn't quite have, I didn't have the right size hex key either to tighten the mount, but I got it in there real good now, and it seems to be holding up, so hopefully I'll get some more onboard footage in the future. But that's it kind of for the body. It is heavy, but it is durable, and so far it's taken a beating, so that is a plus. Okay, moving on to the truck itself. Haven't had any serious problems. You'll see in some of these clips, I have jumped it, it has crashed, and it has held up. Was really worried rather, about the, oh, look at that. Looks like some diff fluid leaking through there. Just noticed that. I will have to check that out from my center diff. Not sure what's going on with that. But I was worried about this stock chassis. I know they're not great, but it's been so long since I've had a stock chassis that I didn't exactly know how it was going to hold up and what the limits were going to be with it. But I'm surprised, and again, I haven't hit my big jumps on my property or sent it off my fresh park ramp. That is coming in another video. I will test it, but I really just don't want to break anything because I don't have money right now to go ahead and do like an M2C build. If I tweak a tower or a chassis, right, it's like, you know, the solutions are there. Just go M2C and you won't have those problems. But I wasn't really trying to do that kind of bashing with the truck. So I haven't tested those limits. So take that for what it is. But if you're just going to go fast and get minimal air, I don't think you will have a problem with those. Moving on to the electronics, haven't had any problems there. Really surprised at how well the stock servo is. I don't feel like I need to change it as long as it holds up to the abuse. I think it's fine. They do have the 25 tooth spline on it. Doesn't really matter to me because you're swapping in a servo. That's what you're going to do anyway. So I don't think you're going to bend the stock horn. It is aluminum or some sort of metal. So that is holding up great, super fast. Even with the truck on the ground, it still turns the tires pretty well. Power-wise, it is got, you know, enough power. It depends, I guess, on your preferences. I want to gear it up. I was checking motor temps, and I think in one of my videos, my ESC was sitting around like 130 to 140, but the motor was up in like the 180s. Let me know in the comments what you think I should be hitting for temperatures. I think that is a little hot on the motor side, but the ESC seemed to be pretty cool. So my plan was just to go up like a tooth or two on the pinion and see how it did at that point. But so far, I think you can just kind of abuse it and not really have those issues. I did get it to kind of have a weird problem in one of my videos where it was shutting off and then it would start and then shut off, but it didn't look like it was going into any kind of thermal protection. It might have been the tires that I swapped to were a little bit bigger and maybe it was overheating, but when I checked the temps, it wasn't very hot. And then all of a sudden, I got it to just keep working, and I didn't have that issue. So I think if it was hot and I didn't like let it fully cool down, if I just like turned it off, turned it back on, and kept driving, and it didn't shut off again, then obviously I don't think it was that kind of issue. But that was like the only little problem that I did have with the truck. It just kind of shut down. I shut it off, turned it back on. It was fine. So not sure what was going on there. Only other problem is that they did release that firmware update. Haven't updated mine yet to test it to see if it changes anything. My driving style, I didn't really notice nosedives too bad or anything like that. My first time out with it, I did have like a couple nosedives, but I took the Hobbywing program card because the Spectrum one still was not programming it. So I used the Hobbywing card. I got it all programmed up, and I turned like the neutral range to narrow or whatever I did with the setting. And then when I swapped tires and went back out, I didn't seem to have a problem. So moving on to, I guess we'll move into, that being said with the tires, we'll move on to maybe the negative things. And I would say that the stock tires are absolutely garbage. They're like super hard, and they don't balloon, and they don't get good traction really at all. What I think is best are these Badland MX-38s. Now, on the truck currently, I have the non-belted ones, but I did run the belted ones, and not sure why, but the non-belted here seem to weigh more than my belted ones. But the non-belteds were ballooning, and it definitely changed the handling characteristics, made it a little more crazy and uncontrollable. Whereas the belted ones, you were really able to just turn where you wanted to stay on the power. And I think the handling was better with the belteds. You got no ballooning. It was much more predictable. But again, that's more of a preference thing. If you're trying to jump this and you want to try to do backflips, gear up and, do that sort of stuff, you probably want to run non-belted. Outside of performance, they just make the truck look way better. I think they're a great size for this truck, and it really adds to the look with the body. The only other two things I had problems with is the shock collars from the factory here were way too compressed, so I raised those up, and it definitely seemed to balance out the truck. The back wasn't bouncing like nearly as bad. And the other thing you do want to check is your droop screws, and go ahead and I'd crank those down or out or whatever, so you push up on your arms just a little bit more from the factory. I think they were just screwed in a little bit, and that will help save your shocks. But other than that, guys, the truck has been absolutely solid. When I did do the other stuff, like I was trying to get rid of that problem, I did update to my FlySky radio. It does have that dual protocol receiver in there from Spectrum, so if you have a Rugged or a DX5, all you have to do is bind it to that if you don't want to use that stock radio. I don't think that stock radio is all that bad. If there was a firmware issue, then I would update it and not really have to worry about the radio. But if you have another radio, you might be able to just bind it to that. But again, that could be preference. I don't think that radio is really holding the truck back. But also, like, for the price you pay of the truck, it would have been nice to get a couple more of those features, for what you pay. Like, you got the stamped chassis, these stamped towers. For $700 they could have included maybe some EXB towers or something at least. But it's RC, and companies will do that sort of stuff. But I've really been enjoying it. I really can't speak too negatively. I am not a fan with the issue with the ESC. I have a computer, so it's not a big deal. I can update that. But if you're someone who doesn't have a PC and you can't easily do that, you're going to have to go to the hobby shop and hope that they have a setup to take care of you. So for what you pay, they should have not had those kind of issues. I don't know anything about the business, how something like that could slip through the cracks. Might have just been people testing it, didn't notice it because of the way they were driving it. All kinds of little factors. I mean, it's business. It is what it is. The only thing is when you start paying those kind of prices that, it does raise some concerns for a $700 RC truck. But again, if you're someone who has the money, this isn't your only truck. I mean, it's really not that big of an issue. I don't think kids and beginners are going out and just buying a $700 Big Rock, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Let me know. Is the Big Rock your first RC truck? Let me know down there in the comments. But But yeah, like I said, truck's been solid. Have a lot of fun with it. Going to start jumping it and testing that next. But yeah, if you are interested in one and you don't want that fire team body and that handbrake feature, and you're looking for something that's a little more scalish looking, I know they got a light kit coming out for that body too. I think the Big Rock is an excellent choice, and I can't wait to get it modded up and keep ripping it. So that's all I got to say about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Appreciate y'all watching my videos, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.